Music Guru here, asking you to help us on our march to 10,000 subscribers.
Welcome to Music Guru, where rock and metal never die and every classic note still matters. For the finger-tapping fireworks, before Eruption changed the world, Eddie Van Halen was just a teenager with a home-rigged amp and a vision. But even back in 1974, something electric was happening. This rare live performance that you're about to hear proves that Eddie was already a force of nature even before he began to tap. In 1974, Van Halen, still a local act, played a high school auditorium gig at Pasadena High. Eddie Van Halen took the spotlight with a blistering version of Parchman Farm, a blues standard originally written by Booga White and later made famous by Mose Allison. Let's listen into the clip right here and see what we can glean. So there's no two-handed tapping in that clip, no dive bomb effects, but what there is soul, tone, and fire. You'll also hear something else, a strong Eric Clapton influence. Eddie has often cited Clapton as his favorite guitarist, and you can really hear it in this early phrasing. Those bends, the bluesy swing, there's a lot of the explosive Cream era Clapton sound in Eddie's early work, and his tone is really thick and fuzzy. So you can see that maybe he was leaning a bit on Clapton earlier in his career as a guitarist, already experimenting with his tone chasing, hunting for, what later became the Brown sound. And what's really interesting is how developed it already sounds, even though he's basically still in high school here. So even without his signature tapping and without his signature gear, he still has one incredible sound, and it's largely due to his mastery and control of the guitar. So he's playing economically, but he's also shredding. He shows a bit of the restraint that Clapton's always been known for, but he has a much kind of wilder edge, and he's not really copying licks, but absorbing them. So if you're a fan of early Cream and you listen to what Ed's doing here, you're going to hear a lot of Clapton's licks, but Ed's kind of reshaping them into new forms, and he's using them as building blocks for his own sound. So later, when he introduced tapping to the mainstream, he blew everyone's mind. But here, before he tapped, he's still able to show that he's one of the most troll-oriented and technique-oriented guitarists in the early 70s. So, according to Ed himself, he didn't invent tapping, of course, but it was something that he figured out by watching various guitarists. He's credited for it, from Jimmy Page. And there's just endless guitarists who claim to be the ones who influenced Ed, and I've got videos on that topic if you want to look them up. But if you listen here to the pre-tapping Ed, you can really get a feel for his groove, his tone, and his phrasing. And there are a few people that feel like the pre-tapping Eddie was actually better than what came later. And while I don't agree with that, you can definitely hear the promise, confidence, and genius that's beginning to bud there are actually beginning to flourish. So what do you think? Do you like this early blues-soaked Eddie Van Halen? Are you just rooted into the fast, flashy post-Eruption era? Are you surprised by how Ed sounded before he started to tap? And how much do you think tapping overshadowed some of his other techniques? I'm on record on this channel saying again and again that I think Ed's tapping overshadows a lot of his other musical abilities, including his talent for songwriting. This is what I think, but what really matters is what you think. If you have an idea about this or any other topic connected to classic or contemporary music, please drop it in the section below, and remember to like and subscribe. Thanks a lot.